Hello. Hello there. Hello. Am I scary? Am I scary? Am I terrifying? Hello, 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 hello. Don't let this form deceive you. I may be friend-shaped, but you shall see in time what I truly am. But hello there. Do not be afraid. Fear not, for I shall not harm you. What am I? Take a wild guess. Come on, link the puzzle pieces together. You've got a death note in hand. Batman, shut up. Welcome in, Air Fryer. How you doing? You've got a death note in hand. My death note, which belongs to none other than me. My name is Kuro. I am a Shinigami. And there is no need to be scared. No need to be scared at all. I won't harm you. For now. Just kidding. I'd like to keep you on your toes. My forehead, you say? Well, Shinigami are never accused of being attractive, are they? Insurance agents. No, 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 no. I'm not that evil. I am not that evil, don't you worry. But that's correct, I am a Shinigami. And I think you know exactly why I am here today. Very innocent looking, you say? If you say so, then it must be. Welcome in, Naziro. Welcome. Welcome. I hope you all know what you're getting yourself into today. Nice to meet you as well. Nice to meet you. But yes, there is no need to be scared. Fear not, fear not, fear not. I will not harm you. What's the point in depriving myself of entertainment for the next few months? Or at least until the police catch you, and they always do. They always do. But it seems that you've already gotten quite a good understanding of the power you possess with my book. Remember, this death note is I'm glad you understand it so far. It saves me the hassle of explaining things in too much detail. That gets boring quick. Well, you want to know what I mean by entertainment? Well, if you must know, who are you and what did you do to Kuro? I am Kuro. I am Kuro. I'm just in my Shinigami form, and I stare at you with my big red eye. I stare deep into your soul, and I see things. I see many things within you. Some buried, deep tucked far away, never to see the light of day again, but I see it clear as day. We all have our secrets. We all have our deep, dark secrets. And it's quite fun to see everyone. You're funny, better. Stop making me break character. Good night, Atsu. I hope you sleep well. Don't let the Shinigami bite. You have a habit of writing your name on your stuff. What's this book called again? Oh, no, no, no. You must be very, very careful with this particular notebook, because it's not like any notebook you've ever seen before, or that has ever existed in your realm before. It's very dangerous. And if you were to write your own name within this book, well, the fun would end, wouldn't it? The Death Note would take what it has been given, and it will not take it politely. I can try softbook. I can try it, but I don't know. Well, if you'd like to know what I mean by entertainment, humans are the most fun to observe when given the highest power. The power to play God. Not to mention, the Shinigami realm is immensely boring. Oh, I love peaches. How did you know? How did you know that I simply love peaches? How did you notice? I am quite feral for peaches. Thank you for the head pats. I do quite appreciate the comforting feeling of them. Alas, where I'm from, head pats do not exist. And that is another thing that makes the human realm so interesting. Humans have so many little quirks. And I find it quite adorable, to say the least. You humans, you have so many aspects, so many goods, and so many bad. Thank you for the hydrate reminder. It's quite dry in the Shinigami realm. Water is nice, though. Thank you. I know that are in right. It is not fun. That's why I'm here. This place is very fun. The most fun I could ever imagine, actually. Peach Fanta, what is that? I do love peaches. If Fanta is some kind of drink or food in correlation of peaches, then I would probably love it as well. Delicious. Okay. Well, I hope that the humming was calming and that you enjoyed it. Oh, you want more tapping and other triggers, yes? We should do that later. As for now, we have business to get to. As I was saying earlier, the Shinigami realm is immensely boring. So just imagine this: a barren wasteland filled with grey landscapes, mountains, and apples that taste and feel like sand. Horrible, right? Now imagine it tenfold. Endless. An endless world of nothing. Who in their right mind would want to live in that? So that is precisely why I am here. Is the Shinigami realm just Ohio with apples? I do not know if this location you call Ohio, is that where we currently reside in? Must not be, since this place seems very, very nice compared to the Shinigami realm. So, since nobody in their right mind would want to live in the Shinigami realm, that's why I am here, and that is also why you have my book, my Death Note. As long as my Death Note is in your hands, I will be around to witness all of the sins you commit. All of your sins. I will be a bystander to. I can't wait. Aren't you excited? So tell me, what kind of lives have you taken so far? Maybe out of pity or mercy, maybe even revenge. There are many vengeful people out there. Did you know that? Did you know that? Or maybe you have been punishing those who have done bad deeds with your sick, twisted idea of justice. It always interests me just how quickly people will take the role of playing God once given the power to do so. But don't you know? Don't you know? Great power comes with great responsibilities. In case you didn't know this yet, a human who has used the Death Note can neither go to heaven nor hell. That's right. That is correct, human. When your time is up, you will go to Mu. Nothingness. You will go to the great nothingness. With that in mind, surely you will continue to write names in my... Well, now it's your book. What do you say? Keep me entertained for a while, and maybe I'll share some tips with you on how to not get caught by the police. 'Cause that would be no fun. No fun at all, for you or for me. To ensure that you do not screw this up, let's go over the rules again. I'm sure you've read them over once, but do you truly understand each and every rule? Rules are what make the game fun, aren't they? Let us go over. Rule number 1. The human whose name is written in this note shall die. You already knew that. This note will not take effect unless the writer has the subject's face in mind when writing his or her name. And this is to prevent people who share the same name from being affected. Smart rule, right? You wouldn't want to kill every John Smith out there now, would you? That's quite inconvenient. The death note will not ever affect a victim whose name has been misspelled 4 times. Why 4 times? Who knows? I didn't make the book. These are just the rules to follow. Even worse, Jane Doe. Yes, exactly. Have you ever met a Jane Doe? I didn't think so. What do you think happened before this rule was created? Exactly. Every Jane Doe ceased to exist. That's why we have the first rule. Rule number 3. When the same name is written in 2 or more death notes, yes, there are more than just the one, the note which was used first will take effect regardless of the time of death. If the same name is written in 2 or more death notes within 0.06 seconds, the entry is regarded as simultaneous. The death note will not take effect, and the individual will not die. If a death note owner accidentally misspells a person's name 4 times, that person will be free from being killed by the death note. However, if the death note owner intentionally misspells the name 4 times, the owner of the death note will die. The death note will not take effect if a victim's name is written on several different pages. However, the front and back of the page are considered to be one page. For example, the death note will still take effect if the victim's last name is written on the front page and first name on the back. As long as the full name is within the book, it doesn't matter what page. If the cause of death is written within 40 seconds of the subject's name, it will happen. If the cause of death is not specified, the subject will die of a heart attack. After writing the cause of death, the details of death should be entered within the next 6 minutes and 40 seconds. If the time of death is specified within 40 seconds, after writing the cause of death as a heart attack, the time of death can be manipulated and can go into effect within 40 seconds after writing the name. Let me know if I am losing you at any point. I know it's a lot of rules, and I hope they are not too confusing for you, dear mortal. Hello, Velgor. Hope you're doing well today. The conditions of death will not be realized unless they are physically possible for that human, or could be reasonably assumed to be carried out by that human. So, for example, if you were to write Jane Doe dies from jumping off the Eiffel Tower, and she lives in Hawaii, it is just not possible for this to happen within this amount of time. And who in their right mind would allow Jane Doe to climb up the Eiffel Tower to the top and jump as you would have written? Since the limitations applying to the conditions of a death are unknown to the Shinigami, Death Note owners must find out on their own. So I cannot help you there. You must figure this out by yourself. We need a life note. Oh, to bring those who have died back to life, you mean? I can see how that could get chaotic pretty quickly. What if we brought back Genghis Khan? Do you think he'd be surprised the world we live in today? A love note? That sounds like Cupid's territory, not mine. Maybe I could do a Cupid roleplay someday. Next rule. You may write the cause and or details of death prior to filling in the name of the individual. Be sure to insert the name in front of the cause of death. You will have about 19 days, according to your human calendar, to fill in a name. Suicide is a universally valid cause of death, as all humans are thought to possess the potential to commit suicide. It is therefore something that may be reasonably assumed of an individual. Whether the cause of the individual's death is either suicide or an accident, it would lead to the death of... Thank you, Void. I love peaches. Peaches are the best. Oh, where was I? I hope I didn't get peach juice on the notebook, the death note. It's fine. It's not on there.
Whether the cause of the individual's death is either suicide or an accident, if it would lead to the death of more than the intended victim, the person will simply die of a heart attack. This is to ensure that other lives are not impacted. So, for example, if you wanted to use Jane Doe as a puppet to murder John Smith, well, that simply would be breaking the rules, wouldn't it? If you did not know John Smith's name, that would be cheating. After an individual's name, time of death, and conditions of death are entered in the notebook, the time and conditions of death may be altered as many times as desired, as long as they are changed within 6 minutes and 40 seconds from the time they are filled in. But of course, this is only possible before the victim dies. If you write dies of accident for the cause of death, the victim will die from a natural accident 6 minutes and 40 seconds after the time of entry. Even if only one name is written in the death note, if the victim's death causes other humans that are not written in it to die, the cause of death will default to a heart attack. If you write dies from disease and specify which disease and the time of death, there must be a sufficient amount of time for the disease to progress. If the set time is too tight, the victim will die of a heart attack 6 minutes and 40 seconds after the entry in the death note. The death note is all-knowing. It knows your past, your future, your present moment. It knows it all. And it knows what is plausible and what is impossible. The death note can only operate within a 23-day window in your human calendar. This is called the 23-day rule. If you write dies from disease and specify which disease, but not a time of death, if the progression of the disease takes more than 24 days, the 23-day rule will not take effect, and the human will die at an appropriate time depending on the disease. However, rewriting the cause and or details of death must be done within 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Thank you for the headpats. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Void. We are almost done with the rules, I promise. We're almost done. I just wanted you to have a solid understanding of the rules before we have our fun. Let's see. Let's talk about something a bit more interesting. Have you ever heard of the Shinigami eyes? The Shinigami eyes. Let me explain it to you, because I think you may be very well interested in them. A human who becomes the owner of a death note can, in exchange for half of your remaining life, acquire the power of the Shinigami eyes, which will enable you to see a human's name and remaining lifespan when looking at them. If you have traded for the Shinigami eyes You will lose that power as well as the memories of the Death Note once you lose ownership of the note. Moreover, the half of your life you traded away will not be restored. It's a final sale kind of deal, do you understand? Once bought, it cannot be returned or refunded. An individual with Shinigami eyes can see the name and lifespan of another human by looking at that person's face. By gaining ownership of a Death Note, an individual not only gains the ability to kill, but also stops being a victim. From this point on, a person with a Death Note cannot see the lifespan or other Death Note owners, including yourself. In order to see the names and lifespans of humans using the power of the Shinigami eyes, the owner must be able to see more than half of that person's face. When looking from top to bottom, he must be able to see at least from the head to the nose. If you look at only the eyes and under, you will not be able to see the person's name and lifespan. Also, even though some parts of the face, for example, the eyes, nose, or mouth, are hidden, if you can basically see the whole face, you'll be able to see the person's name and lifespan. But it is still not clear how much exposure is needed to see a name and lifespan. More research needs to be done. Would you care to do such experiments with me? But if the conditions are met, names and lifespans can be seen using photos and digital images, no matter how old they are. But this is sometimes affected by the resolution and size of said image. Names and lifespans cannot be seen using drawings, no matter how realistic they may be. Those who possess the Shinigami eyes will have eyesight of over 3.6 in the human measurement, regardless of your original eyesight. And this is quite excellent eyesight. Maybe consider it if you wear glasses or contacts. It would be an upgrade to your eyesight, for sure. Well, I'm glad I could convince you. You won't regret it. An interesting fact. Humans who have traded for Shinigami eyes cannot see the names or lifespans of humans who have already passed away. By looking at photos of them, for example, because they simply do not exist anymore. Another interesting fact you should know. The use of the Death Note in the human world sometimes affects other humans' lives or shortens their original lifespans, even if their names are not actually written in the notebook itself. In these cases, no matter the cause, the Shinigami sees only the lifespan, and not the shortened lifespan. You will only see the original. Lastly, and we can stop reading the rules after this one, no matter what medical or scientific method is employed, it is impossible for humans to distinguish whether or not a human has the Shinigami eyes. Even Shinigami cannot distinguish this fact, except for the very Shinigami that traded his or her power with that human. So, with all of that being said and done and reviewed, what do you think? Not just the Shinigami eyes, but all of it. What do you honestly think? I'd like to dive deeper into your mind and what your next course of action may be with this Death Note. Since you understand the rules now, for the most part, we can learn the rest later. We'll have plenty of time together. What shall your next move be, killer? So that's actually where it kind of ends a little bit, but I wanted to keep doing improv, so we're gonna continue that. I just don't even know what to talk about now. Ran out of stuff, but we can think of something for sure. Actually has the eyesight of 2.25. Is that good? I actually don't know. It's moderate nearsightedness. Oh, interesting. Interesting fact about me, I have amblyopia. So I have lazy eye, but you can't actually tell. Like, it's not visible. It's just my left eye, its vision is worse than my right eye. But my eye doesn't drift off or anything unless I want it to. I can control that much at least. Oh, you have a question for me, veteran. How experienced of a Shinigami are you? How many humans have already had your Death Note? Well, I have been around for many years, but I've lost count. I've seen innocent people obtain the Death Note. I've seen mental breakdowns from possessing such immense power. Sorry, Mochi's eating his breakfast. If I had to guess, I've been having fun with this for at least 100 years. Maybe even more. Maybe even triple that. Or quadruple that. Who knows anymore? Time passes, but everything stays the same anyways. In the Shinigami realm. How many humans have already had your death note? You know, I do get bored quite easily, so I tend to lose my notebook every so often. If I had to guess a number, maybe 1,000 people. 1,000 people before you have possessed this exact same death note. Some of them used it well, some of them not so much. When you give a random human the power of a god, they tend to react in different ways, depending on their morals, I suppose. Shinigami coming to take me away. The Mochigami. Did you also know that Shinigami love music? Humans aren't so bad after all, if they can create joyous moments from absolute nothing. Who created music anyways? Oh, thank you, Aiden. Let me take a peek. What is that? Peaches? Oh no. Is it me eating a peach? Oh no. Love the kalimba, yay! You humans have created such beautiful things. Such beautiful melodies, songs, lyrics, emotions connected to every note, every sound, a deep memory unlocked. Even if that memory was kept deep within, far, far away, I can still see within you, you know. And the music that plays, it brings something out within. And how beautiful that is, you humans. Music, melodies, emotions, they're all tied together. You cannot have one without the other. And that is so beautiful, you humans. I love your hair, by the way. Thank you, I cut it myself. How does a Shinigami go about getting a haircut? Oh. Well, we don't exactly have mirrors, but I guess we have puddles. I can see my reflection in the puddle, I suppose. If we were to receive rain. My best haircuts, though, they have been given to me. You know how rare it is for a barber to assume possession of my death note. Chances are 1 in 500. I've only ever had 2 hairstylists acquire my death note before, and they were always so quick to offer me a haircut. I mean, is it really that bad? Does my hair look that unkempt? What does it matter anyways? I am a god of death. It shouldn't matter much. My appearance must stay, scary as it is. Otherwise, nobody would respect me. Nobody would assume my great power. And then I'd have to explain over and over and over again how boring and annoying. So I guess what I'm trying to say is my appearance does the explaining for me. Are horns and pointy ears a natural feature or a personal choice? Well, those features are simply just how I was made. I don't know what created me, or when I was created. I just began to exist one day. You know, thinking back, I really don't know my first memory. Do you recall any of your first memories? The only memory I deem worthy of remembering is the first time I ate a peach. Of course that was on Earth. I have no good memories from the Shinigami realm, unfortunately. Delicious. Thank you. I appreciate the peach, Aiden. That's enough music for now. If you overdo it, if you have too much music, maybe you would forget to appreciate it when it happens. If you had it all the time. Maybe that's like peaches. If I had them all the time, I probably wouldn't love them as much. Because I could have it whenever I wanted. But if I have them only sometimes, I think the love for them would never die. Does that make sense? So, you never did tell me. What are your plans with the Death Note? Do you know who your next victim will be? Will you even have a next victim? Are you scared, afraid, mesmerized perhaps? Excited even to write down the name of your next victim? If so, I'd love to see who it is, why you wish them death, and how you want to erase them. I see you do have some ideas in that beautiful head of yours. You do have some ideas. You don't feel like using it, but if keeping it means your company, then I guess I can keep it. Well, there's no rush to use it. We are just beginning to know each other anyways. You wouldn't believe how many people before you who have possessed the Death Note filled the pages within only an hour. That must be a very vengeful person. A person who has felt wronged for so long to finally have the power to do something about it. I guess you're not like that. For a human, that must be good. You have the power and choose not to use it. You are a good human then. You must not have any evil within you. But everyone has secrets. I've seen many people betray and be betrayed, backstab, be backstabbed. You wouldn't believe it, for centuries, for decades. It never ends. Trust is a flimsy thing. How do you know you could trust someone? What if they're plotting your demise and you had the power to stop them? I wonder what you would do. I don't mean to make you overthink it, though. It's really simple, actually. Look out for yourself. Be cautious, be wary. But still, live your life to the fullest. That's my advice to the good humans. The ones who possess so much evil within them that it overflows and reaches the depths of the Death Note.
They're a different story.
They are quite fun. They're different. More carefree, but also more careful. They think what they're doing is right, but morals, standard human morals, say it's wrong. To play God. According to humans, nobody should have such power. Hello, Dr. Greer. Welcome in. Hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. So, now that you are aware of the different types of people in the world, I wonder if your ideas have changed at all. Maybe you would use the Death Note in order to protect yourself. I know humans are quite fond of and in agreement of self-defense. I wonder if you would use it in such way. Are there any rules you have to abide by during our partnership? Well, rules for you, rules for me. Who's the god here?
Right. It is I.
Shinigami Kuro, god of death. My rules they differ from yours. I wouldn't want to confuse you much about them, but to keep it simple and to keep you in the know of things, it would be good for you to know other people cannot see me. If you were to speak with me in public, for example, everyone would think you are losing your mind. So Vernie, thank you so much for the follow. Can you imagine such an event? You speaking to no one because the other humans cannot see me, and if they could, they would die from fear. Just kidding. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Sorry. It's been a while since I've returned to the human world. I sometimes forget what humor is in and what humor is distasteful. But anyways, I'd say that's a pretty good rule for you and me alike. I won't tempt you to speak in public, so you should not also tempt me. We can't do much in the insane asylum now, can we? That sounds boring, boring, boring. Being locked up for weeks and months and years. Just because you were talking to yourself. I guess if you're looking for a real answer, though, the actual rules that I have to abide by, unfortunately, if your life depended on something, on me, I would not be able to do anything, unfortunately. For I am not allowed to save any human. I wonder if it's too soon to tell you this, but you seem like a good human. And I have never been tricked before, so I'll share with you a secret. Any Shinigami who uses their death note to save a human's life or extend it would cause the Shinigami to turn to dust. And how boring would that be? If I'm dust, what can I do? I wouldn't even exist anymore, would I? That doesn't sound fun now, does it? Branching off of that, I am not allowed to kill any human in any way other than using a death note. That is my only way. My only possible method of killing. We can make tea with your Shinigami dust. Oh, maybe it would taste like peaches. But, in short, those few rules that I have said so far are the only rules I must abide by. Don't take it personally. Humans are just a bit more complicated than gods. That is why they have so many rules to follow. You understand, don't you? Good. It's been a long day, hasn't it? Your first day with the Death Note. I understand if you're tired. Mentally, emotionally, physically. It's only natural. With great power also comes great exhaustion. If we were to meet another person with an accompanying Shinigami, would we see them? And would you two Shinigamis see each other? Well, funny you say that. I would see the Shinigami, but you would not. Unless you were to gain a hold of the other person's Death Note. Only then would you see that person's Shinigami. You might be surprised, but there's not that many of us. Not many of us choose to come to Earth. For some odd reason. It's much better down here, but I guess they're all too scared. Too scared of having a good time. But if I were to see another Shinigami, don't count on it that I'd tell you. It's Shinigami code. You only need to know as much as you need to know. And, putting it simply, you do not need to know if there is another Shinigami. If you were to befriend this person on coincidence, though, and you both shared the Death Notes with each other, only then would you be able to see both Shinigami. I've never had that happen before. 1,000 people, and not once have I crossed paths with one who befriended another Death Note user. Maybe they just have a hard time finding each other. maybe there should be some kind of community forums where Death Note users can mingle and such. So if I were to have multiple Death Notes, would you, the Shinigamis, just hang out? Good question. I feel like that would be a very rare instance, but yes. There are many things I have not experienced yet as a Shinigami, and that is one of them. But if I had to assume, then yes, you would possess 2 gods of death. Or I guess, better put it, 2 gods of death would possess you. I wouldn't mind sharing, but I do like having my own human. Things get complicated when another Shinigami gets involved. So things would be much simpler. Just you and me. I think that's fair. Do you have any more peaches, by chance? I really love peaches, you know this. I start to go through what you humans call withdrawal, as I do not eat peaches enough. Quite possessive and jealous, if you ask me. I don't see it that way. So delicious, so juicy, so sweet and tasty. This Aiden human is becoming my favorite from the sheer amount of peaches I am being provided. But I don't see it that way. Possessive and jealous, no. I just don't like to share my things. Sometimes ownership becomes a blurry line. What if my human were to be damaged by another Shinigami's hand? Thank you so much for the headpats. If my human were to become harmed by the mistake of another, I wouldn't be happy, to say the least. I guess good conversation holds no value over peaches, good to know. You know, it's in the lore. It's like if you feed a cat a treat every day, the cat would prefer the food every time. It's just in the lore. Good conversation, though. That's another thing Shinigami deeply appreciate. I've already told you how boring it can be in the Shinigami realm. How much of a wasteland it is. How nothing is enjoyable there. So you are like a cat. In some ways. Not entirely, but some aspects, I suppose. But cats are quite cuter than Shinigami will ever be. Hello, welcome in, Beefy Bee.
Oh, thank you for the follow. Misty, thank you so much.
I hope you're all enjoying your stay here with me. I guess you're all my humans. I never expected to have so many. Well, thank you. I do appreciate that very much.
It's not always like this, though. Just during this roleplay. Breaking character for a second.
Do you have a favorite earth animal? Why, yes, of course. Cats. If it wasn't obvious, cats are my favorite earth animal. They're mischievous. They're cute and cuddly, but they're also deadly.
Don't forget, cats are predators.
They hunt their prey. They play with their food. But if you treat a cat right, shower it with love and affection and treats and food, you will gain yourself a new best friend. Although cats seem to dislike my appearance on Earth, I can only enjoy their adorableness from afar. It's...
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love peaches. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So animals can see you, or just cats? Most animals are able to see me, or at least feel my energy. It's hard to explain what can a cat see if you cannot see from a cat's point of view. But if they can't see me clearly like you can, they can at least sense or even smell me. And that is enough to spook them away sometimes, unfortunately. So I can only admire them from afar. Their tails tend to poof up. Their backs tend to arch. And their eyes change too. But they're still cute. No matter how scary they try to appear, they're adorable. I don't know much about dogs. I don't see them very often. There was once a chihuahua who barked and barked and barked. I think it could sense me, but it could not see me. This chihuahua was very, very old. Maybe 10 or so years.
I don't think it could see me,
But it definitely felt my presence. It would bark and bark and bark. And the family had no idea why. Why? Why is our dog barking at nothing? Maybe if you have a dog and it's barking at nothing at all, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm there. Just watching. I'm no harm. You know this. But dogs, they're very cute too. I like smaller dogs. Pomeranians, corgis. Shibas are pretty small. They're not too large. Chihuahuas are the cutest. They're so tiny. So much rage inside such a tiny little baby. They have spirit. I'll give them that. So much energy. But let's see here. Music is still one of my favorite things about you humans. Your world, it comes with many, many, many different things. Many good things. Equally as many bad things. But of course, that always just depends on how you, each and every human, chooses to pursue their life. If you're sad, angry, envious, you humans have music to explain your emotions, your feelings, and relate to one another. Music is the glue that connects so many people. Do you have any goals, any dreams? Or do you just live on and on? Well, when you've lived for so many years that you've lost count, and you've experienced just about everything there is to experience, but that can only go so far as a Shinigami. I am jealous of you humans sometimes. You can feel things, experience things. You can even pet cats and dogs. Of course I'm jealous. But if I had any goals, or dreams, maybe It would just be to make a friend. A lifelong friend. Not just a I'll talk to you today and maybe tomorrow and maybe until the police catch you for murdering innocent people. Or maybe not innocent, but for playing God. That's where most of my friendships have ended. But maybe you'll be different. Maybe we could be friends. But yes, I do live on and on and on. Thank you so much. I love peaches. What was I saying? Alright. I do live for a very long time, but the only way to increase my lifespan is by killing humans. Otherwise, I would just be stuck in the Shinigami realm. Nothing to do, nothing to see, nothing to eat. You know, as a Shinigami, I don't even need to eat, but peaches, they're just so delicious. They're so good. I definitely understand the human nature to have addictions to things people love. You know, I met a human before who had an interesting addiction. They collected these paper cards with many different types of fictional animals on them. And this person would spend so much money that they could barely feed themselves. They would have millions of cards, but dinner would just be ice soup. Or maybe a bread sandwich. So, maybe I'm glad I'm not a human. If I still felt this way about peaches, then who knows? It probably wouldn't be good for me anyways. But as a Shinigami, thankfully, I can eat as many as I want. And I'd never be full. It's an endless enjoyment.